said that she would take my case on contingency. An accident had happened in my local grocery. The checkout girl broke all my eggs and she made a mess. Now I'm in the hospital with emotional distress. Oh, Sue Happy, won't you sue for me? Get $1 million settlement, take 1/3 for your fee. I went to see the doctor and the bills were very high, but I didn't have to pay because my lawyer knew the guy. This doctor who examined me took every test he knew, and even though he's been real nice, I think I'll sue him too. Oh, Sue Happy, won't you sue for me? Get $1 million settlement, take 1/3 for your fee. Get $1 million.
Hi, welcome to Common Law. My name is Jesse Goldberg, and today's guest is a candidate for mayor and councilman. So tell me about yourself, and you know, where you're from and
sure.
Everything.
I grew up here in Nashville. I lived over in the area close to David Lipscomb, and then went away to college in the early 80s and went to law school in California, and then moved back to Nashville about 10 years ago. I'm married. I have one son who is almost 4, and I've been on the Metro Council now since 1999, serving as an at-large member.
At-large?
At-large.
Everybody votes for you, right?
It means it's countywide, elected countywide.
I wonder if I voted for you or not.
Well, I don't know. We could probably go back and check. No,
I probably did because of the Parkway thing.
That's right, that's right.
I always use that Parkway, so...
Well, I'm doing my best to make sure that Briley Parkway is absolutely complete before the election in August of this year.
Did you ever watch Seinfeld at all?
I do watch Seinfeld.
Did you remember the episode where Kramer is taking care of one little road, one little part of the road?
I do. Yeah. Was he painting the lines on it?
Right. He was painting the lines. So you should do that on Briley Parkway.
I'm afraid the TDOT might not appreciate that if I started painting my own lines on Briley Parkway.
Well, keep going. You went to law school.
Went to law school, came back to Nashville. I've been on the council for almost 8 years now. I practice law here in Nashville. And
Still practicing law.
Still practicing law. The
councilman doesn't pay too much.
Well, it pays $15,000 a year, and that would barely cover my student loans, which I still have from law school. So I have to practice law as well and represent individuals and small companies in civil litigation. What I've been doing. So,
do you have a single practitioner? I
practice with my brother. We're partners in a small law firm, just the two of us.
Your brother, the guy who's the state senator?
Of the Judiciary Committee. And we practice law together. We have now for about 6 years been practicing together.
What kind of stuff do you do?
We represent individuals in personal injury, products liability, workers' comp cases, and do a little bit of other mixed civil.
You don't come on TV and do those commercials, do you?
We have never done a commercial. No, we do not. We generally get our referrals from other lawyers when they have a client who's been injured or...
Right. So now let's get back to, now you come from I'm not from around here. I've been here, I'm a Yankee who stayed, you know, that kind of person. But I'm not from around here. So I heard that your grandfather is Beverly Briley?
That's right.
And he was a mayor here, right?
My grandfather fought in World War II, like many men in his
generation. The greatest generation.
That's right. Fought in the Pacific on a destroyer and came back to Nashville in 1946 after the war, and as part of a big reform movement back in the mid-40s, where they were throwing out a bunch of political bosses, he ran for county judge. He served as county judge from the late 40s until the early 60s when he was elected as the first mayor of the consolidated form of government, where the city and county became one in 1963. He was the first mayor of Metro government and served as that mayor for 12 years from 63 to
12 years?
63 to 75.
So his name was Beverly Briley.
Beverly Briley. You don't see many men named Beverly Briley anymore. I think it's a fad that has passed, but he was named Beverly Briley.
What was his middle name?
Well, Beverly was actually his middle name. Clifton Beverly Briley was his full name.
Okay. So when did Briley Parkway get built?
Well, you know...
And how does it feel riding on a parkway named after your own family?
Well,
they just have Goldberg Parkway around here.
Well, that's a good idea. I think perhaps we should have a Goldberg Parkway. But Briley Parkway, yeah, I think that it's actually only been fully completed in terms of it being a circle, more or less, in 1998, or is when that actually occurred. So, but they started building it in the 60s, with the first segment being from the Thompson Lane area all the way over to Gallatin Road. That was the first segment that was built. You know, growing up here as a young person, a lot of people knew that I was related to the mayor, so, you know, I've sort of grown up just accepting it as being a normal part of my life, and it doesn't really have any impact on me anymore.
Right. Well, and your kids, do they know the name of the Briley Parkway too?
My son is too young really to understand that. He'll be 4 soon, and I think he probably won't understand it. I think he, I hope he doesn't, honestly.
Well, was he mayor when they named it?
He was mayor when they named it.
When they named it. So he named it after himself?
Well, you know, I wasn't around then. The story I've heard is that when he first proposed it, he was a very forward-thinking mayor and really pushed the community to do some things that it really thought it couldn't do. He proposed building this road that would circle the community, and everybody thought it was sort of a joke. And the idea was, well, if you can get the road built, we'll name it after you. So, because he was a big proponent of building this road, the community named it after him. I think the council would have had to name it, so he probably wouldn't have technically named it after himself, but
right.
Or the state may have, actually. It's a state route, so the state probably would have named it after him.
I wonder why it's called a parkway.